Let me start by saying, in front of Fred and the whole world, I love Nancy Marlin. She is among the most intelligent, vivacious, determined, daring, effective, and wise people I know. Through the years, few individuals have had a more profound and lasting impact on San Diego State than Nancy. She is one of my best and dearest friends. Nancy and I worked closely together for almost 14 years. During that time, she ran academic affairs and worked hard to make San Diego State a better, stronger university. I must confess, however, that in thinking about these remarks, I was thinking more of you, mortarboard students, than about Nancy. That is not altogether inappropriate, since she also spent her time thinking of you and of making your experience at San Diego State and beyond the best it could possibly be. So, at a time when many of you are thinking of post-graduation and collecting references, let me start out with one of my favorites. It is written by Friedrich Reichel in 1868, and you will perhaps recognize the student about whom he writes. However many young talents I have seen develop under my eyes for 39 years now, never yet have I known a young man who was so mature as early. He is the idol, the leader of the whole younger generation of philologists here in Leipzig. If God grant he lives long enough, I prophesy that he will one day stand in the front rank of German philology. You will say I describe a phenomenon. Well, that is just what he is. And at the same time, pleasant and modest, also a gifted musician. He will simply be able to do anything he wants to do. Who is Reichel writing about? Were I with you this morning, I suspect I would have heard a chorus of Friedrich Nietzsche. And of course, you would have been right. I'm sure you all have references like that, but I can assure you that I did not. It is, however, in this spirit of exuberant praise for a phenomenon that I want to draw some lessons from the example Nancy has set for us. One might start by noting that when she was your age, Nancy was a great, avid student. More than that, she remains one. Being provost of San Diego State is a pretty big job. Responsibility for a division with approximately 3,000 colleagues and a budget of $141 million. And yet, throughout her time as provost, Nancy studied Spanish. Once a week, every week, she would meet with a Spanish study group in her office. If you want to honor Nancy, keep on learning. Nancy cares about a lot of different, complicated, important things. But she has a particular passion for international study. She knows it changes lives and improves human relationships. When she came to SDSU, 230 students were studying abroad each year. Now over 2,400 are. Some who have had that wonderful experience are surely in this room. SDSU ranks now 15th nationally in study abroad, and a campus that hosted 732 international students the year when Nancy arrived now welcomes more than 2,700. That is what passion and persistence can accomplish. Want to honor Nancy? Find your passion and pursue it. Make it happen. Nancy served as provost at SDSU for 15 years. During that time, she hired approximately 2/3 of SDSU's current full-time faculty. She decided to which departments the positions would go. She approved or disapproved the proposed hires. Related to this, once a year for about 2 months, Nancy's office would fill up with boxes of promotion and tenure files. These nominations had been reviewed by department committees, by college committees, by a university-wide committee, signed off on by the department chair and the college dean. yet Nancy read and pondered each one. This was perhaps her greatest service to our university, building a great faculty. Want to honor Nancy? Figure out what is important, put your time, energy, and thought there. Every week, as long as Nancy was at San Diego State, she held open office hours. Anyone who had an issue, a question, a suggestion, was welcome to come in. Those were not always easy, comfortable meetings. Sometimes they were awkward. But Nancy's door remained open. Want to honor Nancy? Make yourself open to alternative viewpoints. Don't hide behind your desk or title. Nancy made contributions to the community beyond our campus. She served on the board of Planned Parenthood and on that of the National Conflict Resolution Center. These were often late afternoon or evening commitments after an already long day on campus. No matter, Nancy was there to participate and to lead. Want to honor Nancy? Have a life that extends beyond your job. You are a citizen. Be a contributing member of our society. There are about 700 public four-year colleges and universities in the United States. All are represented by an organization called the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities. Because having good leadership is so important, every year they have a seminar for new chief academic officers. Who do they choose to offer that experience to our nation's academic leaders? Nancy Marlin, that's who. If you want to honor Nancy, do more than your job. Make a contribution to your profession. When I hired Nancy in 1998, she was already provost at the University of Northern Iowa. She was, I believe, attracted to San Diego State by the opportunity to play on a larger field. I say this in part because Nancy hates sports metaphors. She saw the potential of SDSU, embraced it, and did not look back. But strangely enough, she didn't look forward either. What I mean by that is that most chief academic officers are university presidents in waiting. I was, Elliot was, Tom Day before us was. I spoke with Nancy several times, offering to recommend her or endorse her for university presidencies. She was always polite but firm. She liked academic affairs. She did not want to be a university president. Want to honor Nancy? Figure out who you are, and then, in the words of Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. Do not be seduced by title or money into a role that you do not love. One more thing. When I served San Diego State, I had the opportunity to hire many administrators, one or two of whom may be here today, to express their respect and affection for Nancy. In searching for those people, I looked first and foremost for whole human beings, people who could see beyond themselves, people who were comfortable with diversity, who could appreciate the arts, who could play well with others. Nancy knows, and doubtless grew tired of hearing me say it, that our word administer comes from the Latin administrare, meaning to minister to. Nancy ministered to San Diego State wisely, carefully, with an eye towards its future and yours. She took care of us, but she also took care of, ministered to herself. Nancy pays attention to her diet. She's a vegan. She practices yoga. She walks regularly. You are each people of ability. Life will probably offer you opportunities to lead. If you want to honor Nancy, remember the ubiquitous airline wisdom. First put on your own mask, then assist others. One more part of being a whole human person. Nancy loves to laugh and play. Strangely enough, her august Dean's Council, made up primarily of SDSU's deans, liked nothing more than to break into song and dance. They literally enjoyed putting on musical parodies whenever their highly creative minds could find an excuse. Want to honor Nancy, enjoy life and friends, laugh, and perhaps occasionally sing or dance. So, you might think that Nietzsche is peachy, but the problem is he's dead and does not offer a very meaningful example of how to live in our world. Indeed, he struggled to live in his own. Nancy Marlin is a full of wonders example for us all. She has accomplished great things and made many of us better by knowing her. She is indeed worth our honoring, not just today, not just at this moment, but by living similar lives of excellence, creativity, professional accomplishment, public service, and by our each striving to be like her, a whole human being. Nancy, I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm suffering from an ingrown hug.